And we are apparently live. Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday. Wow, it's Monday already. Can we believe that it's Monday? It is Monday on August 22nd, 2022. For those of you who are following, and I'll check in a few minutes if we are streaming where we need to, but just quick introduction. I am Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I am your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck. Yes, I cannot believe I gave my deck that name. But anyway, and today I have with me my favorite, one of my favorite astrologers, story of astrology. Kitty, introduce yourself.
I'm Kitty Foss. I am a storytelling astrologist. And what that really means is I just look at the energies that you have and I tell you kind of the story that's behind them. I'm co owner of Intuition of the Soul, which is a free platform for education about all things spiritual, and also co owner of Optimize with the Moon and the Stars, which is a course, a class that we meets 2 times monthly at least. You can be up to 4, where we teach you not only how to read your chart, but how to use it. And I'm always happy to be here to play with my friend Angel. Look at that, Joanne. Angel Barry Cologne. I'm just going to call her Angel because she's kind of angel for me. And we have a good time. And as we both are in a course together, one of the things, the message last week was play. And I thought to myself, yes, that's what Joanne and I like to do, is play, because that's what energy wants from us. It's to interact with it and to learn how to tap into it. So that's me in a nutshell.
There you go. And that's exactly what it is. Kitty and I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm trying to figure out Facebook right now, because Facebook wants to be difficult. Facebook keeps changing things up.
Facebook is, for those people who are watching, Facebook just changes things. And so you'll go to sign on. It's not like there's a notice that goes out and says, by the way, we're going to completely redo the platform that you use all the time. Nope. They just kind of gradually, all of a sudden you open it up and it's changed, which is okay, except when you're trying to broadcast and do things through it, then you're like, okay, here we go again. And those of us who are digital immigrants, so those people that are under like 40 are called digital natives. Actually, it's probably about closer to 45 now. In other words, you grew up since 1994 when America went online. Technology is a second nature to you. So you're a native. But those of us that were born pre that, like I'm born in 1960, we're digital immigrants. That's the best way I ever read to explain it. So we learn what we need to learn in order to be able to use it, and we can become quite skilled, but it's still not a native practice for us. And so when Facebook decides to just change it, it's like,
Yes, exactly. And that's the expression I have right now, because it's like, what the, like, why?
So it's relearning. So it's, as much as learning is good when it comes to technology. And that's kind of a message for today to boot, looking at where the energy and the stars are. So I could start there while you look if you want.
Yeah, I'm just saying hello to whatever page I'm on right now. So yes. So today's topic is retrograde Virgo.
Retrograde.
Which I think that's the key, and you're going to be hearing both Kitty and I talk about that a lot. Whether we are on the same page together on the same broadcasting, or we're doing this separately, retrograde is the theme from this point on, right and through, I think, until what, January?
Yeah. So the apex is September, but then we have a rare retrograde happening in October. Some of them are starting to go direct. But in October, we have a Mars retrograde, and that's unusual. That only happens every 23 to 26 months. Yes. So this is retrograde season. We're well into it, but we have Uranus going retrograde this week, and then we have Mercury. The Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th of September. So at that point will be the most planets this year in retrograde, and then we start to have planets going direct.
Yes.
Again.
Yes, and for those of you who are interested to know, as Kitty was just saying, some planets will be going direct. Those of you who've been hanging really strong with their Capricorn energy, Pluto is one of those planets that will be going direct somewhere between October 4th to 8th. What's the exact date? Because there's so many dates out there flowing. I have down October 4th, but I read somewhere October 8th.
I'm gonna look at my ephemeris.
Yes, so that's what I seen it at, but I wasn't sure if I was reading it right. So I always double check.
It goes direct on the 8th.
Oh, okay. So October 8th. So those who have the Capricorn Sun Moon rising, you have a Pluto Capricorn, know that you're going to start to feel a little lighter as it does start to go direct.
And so Pluto is in that sign of Capricorn, but the sign that is the planet that rules Capricorn also goes direct later that month on the 23rd. So a lot of that structure, the vision of that structure, how that structure is going, our boundaries, again, kind of move from this internal restructuring we've been doing with what the vision of the future is back outside of us. So that's why we've been saying whatever energy you want, create it, because you want to meet that when these things go direct again.
Exactly. And remember, guys, that you are the creator, or as I've been calling it lately, the co-creator, because of course we have our higher power that we've had this conversation with way before we were even thought about. And we've created this plan and contracts with all the different people you come in contact with. Like Kitty and I have an amazing contract together that we've created. And many of us, all of us, have created contracts. So you are the co-creator to what's actually going on in your life right now, and also what's to going forward. So, since you have a part in playing in this, why not create it? So let's dive into this retrograde Virgo. What's going on? Let us know. Go ahead, storyteller.
So today, my friends, yesterday you probably got a little bit of a glimpse of kind of centering yourself. So think about how your day went yesterday, centering yourself. And today we properly moved into Virgo. And we are moving into Virgo. I think we moved in at 2:09 this morning. Let me look. Got to look at my notes. Or I don't got to. I want to look at my notes. And so here we go. Where did you go, notes?
Yeah, I have a whole notebook of it too.
So we went in, I guess I'm going to be actually looking it up. I thought I put it in my notes. But we are moving into this Virgo season, and Virgo is the most misunderstood sign of the zodiac. People see it as controlling, being nitpicky, but it's the greatest problem solver we own, energy, because it can look at all of the smaller nuances. Oh, it's 11:16 p.m., so Eastern Standard Time. So we have just about a little over an hour left. An hour and 8 minutes, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. And so when we move into Virgo, we've come from this time of centering ourselves and empowering ourselves and doing all of that to this very earth-grounded time about systems, all of the small pieces, all of the little things and nuances that we've noticed about ourselves in that last month that we have an opportunity to release, to tighten, to develop, to do all of those things in this time of Virgo. Now, Virgo is not a restful sign. And anybody out there with Pluto in Virgo knows that. Excuse me, it's constant. It is one of two very diligent signs in the zodiac, Scorpio and Pluto and Virgo. And so having Pluto in Virgo is really diligent. And so it really is about all of these inside with this retrograde going on, all these little things coming forward. And you think, why am I being so many little things showing up for me? It's also showing up in synchronicities, in whispers from spirit, because we're clearing it out. It's like this is the broom and the dustpan. Move this, and adjusting the picture, hanging the rod exactly the right way. And so in this season of retrograde, more retrogrades than usual, it means this is happening internally. It is always the season of retrograde, pretty much, Virgo. But it's more intensely happening inside. And right now we have all of these outer planets, especially come the 24th of this week, all of these outer planets bringing these messages from farther beyond internally. So we are going to be picking up nuances. We are going to notice the trees talking. We are going to notice that there's a certain kind of bird around all the time. We are going to notice and feel like I want to take a bath. I want to straighten this drawer. I want to do all of these. I prefer all of these things. First I moved from need to want. Now I'm saying I prefer. That's that co-creation.
I
I prefer to get this taken care of. I prefer to emotionally not react and say, that's enough, brain. Thank you very much. I know you've been trying to help me, but I'm really going to work on when this thought comes on, using a mantra instead. So this is that month, and there's a lot of things internally happening. Meanwhile, Mars on Saturday moved into Gemini, who wants to communicate with you, and the will is there to want to be communicated with. And while we have Venus in Leo, it wants us to be bold in that communication and really hold ourselves in the relationship. Word of caution, you might almost be so bold that you are literally running over, because Gemini is the sign of experience. So Mars in Gemini means I'm going to experience this. I'm going to experience that. And so it's quite the active time with this Venus, this Mars. And of course, we still have Uranus in Taurus, and we still have our North Node in Taurus. So it wants us to be reacting to what we value, our reactions to money, our actions to how we set up our home. So there's going to be a lot of even shifts at the home level this month. This is a seismic shake here in these couple months leading up to October. It is really moving us at our foundation, but to stabilize us, to get the little pebbles that have us precariously perched at different things out of the way. So there's a lot of sweeping happening right now. And that's why we decided to call this Virgo Retrograde, because it is about the engine is running on all of the smaller bits. This is the as below compared to the so above. All of those patterns, those systems. This is sixth house energy, that we're dealing with. So we're dealing with healing, the number healing, which is the year. So that's why this is such a strong Virgo year. This is that 6 energy coming forth, shaking us up, trying to get us to stabilize, sweep out all those pebbles and those things that we don't even know maybe are under our feet. It's kind of like, when you get sand on your feet and you're walking and you just have to stop and brush it off so it feels better. And that's what a lot of this is. What feels better.
Yes. And as as Kitty is saying, when we talk about that Virgo energy, which is the 6th house energy, and the year, the collective energy, which is the 6th, also be mindful that if you happen to have, let's say you're born in the 6th month, you're born on the 6th day, you're born at the 6th hour, any of that is going to be an influence for you as well, because that's the energy you're in. So this energy is very strong for all of us. And I always like to say, those of us who are intuitive, theoretically, the new year theoretically starts in January. However, I truly believe that many of us who are intuitive, we start to feel that New Year's energy more in October. So September, which is only a week and a half away, September is like our end of the year energy. So anything that is ready to shift, release, and get ready for a new beginning, we're going to really start to see, with the help of these retrogrades, that actually taking place, where things are going to be coming to an end. Because again, September carries that 9 vibration of letting things go. So I would say within the last, give or take 3 to 4 months, leading up to September, that Virgo energy this is about what do we need to let go of so we can prepare for the new year in October's energy. Because by the time we hit January, energetically, we've been feeling this new energy already. So we'll be already feeling that 2023 energy, which is that 7 vibration. So it should be quite interesting on the things you are seeing yourself let go of, the conversations that you're having. I was actually saying yesterday in my show, Joanne's Healing Within, where there's some big conversations that's going to take place, specifically today, because of the actual date that we have today, which is one of my many favorite days in the month, which is the 22nd. Now, what would have been like a cherry on top of all of this would have been if we had a full moon or new moon energy on the same day. But I think with all the retrogrades and this particular day itself, a full moon or new moon would have been over the top and might have been too much for all of us. But when we think about that 22nd energy, which is a master number, this is a day where we get to build or start building on that new foundation, which is why those big conversations might be taking place. You may be thinking about a conversation that you're looking to have with somebody regarding some sort of change that's coming in for you. Like Kitty and I were sharing just before we went live about some big conversations that both she and I are going to be having, obviously separately, totally different circumstances, but she and I are. And when I had my show yesterday, my guest and I were chatting about some big things that were going on. So right off the bat, there's already 3 people having big conversations taking place possibly today. So kind of curious to know, those of you who are watching, are you having a big conversation? Are you preparing for a big conversation, whether it takes place today? Now, I know me, because I'm into numerology, I specifically looked at the calendar and said, okay, which is the date that's the best date to have this big conversation? Now, theoretically, I was going to have this big conversation several weeks ago, but as I like to say, I sort of chickened out on my conversation. And then I looked at the calendar and I'm like, okay, I cannot chicken out anymore, so I need a date. And I was like, okay, this date would work or this date would work. And I was like, the 22nd is the best date because it literally is about building a new foundation, the master number of building a spiritual foundation, which is why it's a big conversation. And then when you take the overall date for today, it comes out to a 9, which is about letting things go. So your conversation, your big conversation might actually be in regards to either you're letting something go so you can start something new, and which leads into that transformation. So today's energy is extremely powerful, a great day that if you want to have a conversation, I believe that the planets are there to help you out, especially because we do, again, have that the Mercury in Virgo right now for at least another couple of days to help you communicate. And also we have that Mars Gemini energy, which is to take action to communicate. So our planets are working for us to communicate how we need to. So how do you feel about all of that, Kitty?
Well, I think that's really right on, because Mercury does move to, Venus moves to Scorpio next week. And then Mercury is moving on the 29th also into Scorpio. So Mercury's busy, really.
Is Mercury moving into Scorpio or Libra?
Oh, I'm sorry, moving into Libra.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I have it as a Libra. I was like, did I mess that one up?
No. I was looking ahead at the eclipses, actually, so I was in the wrong month. And actually, because what Spirit's been showing me is the month of October, and the O expands and circles the whole month. It's a huge month, and this is part of the energy that these conversations are about, that are setting forth. Because Mercury is in Virgo, it's exalted. So that's why Joanne's talking about this is a great time to have that conversation before on the 25th it moves to Libra, where it wants to balance a little bit more. So it's so important to understand what we're sending ahead now is what we're going to be meeting in October and November and beyond. And so this is also, Virgo is the time of harvest. Virgo is the time where we start to reap what's been coming in and what's been sown. And that's why it's that completion energy of all of the little pieces that we've completed in this year that started actually last September, August and September, and we're pulling all of that information in. So yeah, it's a time where, and we talked about it earlier in this month when we were on, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. So it's the acceptance of it's coming. And I really am not here to slow it down. I'm here kind of to sit with it. And then when Uranus this week goes retrograde, Uranus, the planet of awakening and also chaos, is going to go in and shake up a lot of these little conversations that are happening. But look what happens the very next day. Our communication, including our internal communication, goes into balance. Now, Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th, and the dreaded Mercury retrograde really is just about stepping back in the technology, stepping back in the time. By the way, Uranus is the planet of higher learning and higher communication and higher technologies. So it's very possible we might see some real blinks in the technological fields or advancements coming forth. And I think that that's more what we're going to see is some amazing new advancements in technology during this period that comes forth, because people are awakening internally during this time to bring those forward. And it may not happen until Uranus goes direct again, but this is a time of great planning, great new technologies. And those technologies can be beyond this world as well. New powers, new skills. And right now with Neptune retrograde, any place Sagittarius is in your chart right now is a different level of awakening. Because it's very forward, because Jupiter is also retrograde. So that veil is very thin in whatever house Sagittarius is covering for you right now. And mine's in the secrets and the things to be unveiled. So that's going to be kind of really interesting to take a look. But yeah, Joanne, I think that that's pretty accurate as to what's going on. Yes. Ready or not, here I come.
Yes, I'm actually just pulling up my chart a second, and then I'm going to add to what Kitty just said. So, in regards to where Sagittarius is for me, where the hell is Sagittarius? Oh, interesting. Neptune, 5th house.
Fun. Creativeness.
What's that?
Fun and creativeness. These are conversations. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, what I also wanted to add in reference to why Kitty and I come and share this, a couple of factors. Getting more familiar with numerology. So when you can actually go to your calendar and start circling specific dates, specifically based on your personal energy number for the year. When you have that information, you can then really start planning it out. Like I said before, I was looking at my calendar to see when would be the best day for me to have a big conversation, an important conversation. And when I looked at the calendar and I saw the 22nd and added it up, I was like, this is so perfectly aligned. So when you are familiar with your personal energy, your number, and how you can find this out, very simple math, just take the month that you were born, the day you're born on, and take the energy of this year. So the current year we're in, so that would be 2022. 2022 adds up to a 6. Month and day, add those numbers, add it with the 6. If it happens to be a double digit, unless it's a master number, which would be 11, 22, or 33, take that number down to a single digit. And then from there, you can either message me to find out what it actually means, or do like most people do, go to Google. Either way, to find out what the actual number means. What I could do very quickly, if Kitty's okay with it, I can run through and give you one word for what each number means, just to give you a highlight. Are you okay with that, Kitty?
I am, as long as you let me get a pen.
Go ahead.
So that I can, refer to that on future broadcasts. So, all right, here we go.
Here we go. So like I said, I'm going to try to keep it to one word for each number, so it's not overwhelming. So we're going to start out with number 1, and that is new beginnings. Number 2, partnerships. Number 3, communication. 4, new foundation. 5, change. 6, healing. 7, spiritual journey. 8, achievements. 9, letting go. 11, master healer. 22, master builder. And this last one is very rare. There's very few people that carry this one. 33, master creator. Very few people carry this one.
Considered the Christ vibration.
Exactly, which is why very few people, I literally, in the years of practicing and studying numerology, I've literally only met 2 people that have not the personal year energy, because very few carry that, but the actual life path energy. 33 was their number, which is a very, very strong and intense number to carry as a life path number. But anyway, there is a difference between your personal year energy and your life path number, which we can have a whole discussion about on a different time. Not today, take up way too much time today. So
I think you should come on IOTS and do that with people.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm inviting you now. So
okay, send me a date and let's make it happen.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. So with that being said, regarding numerology, it's the same concept regarding astrology. Knowing your astrology chart, which is what Kitty teaches, how to understand your astrology, why these specific retrogrades are important to know, and how they play a role in your chart. Because when you know this information, you can literally start planning out what's the best thing to do at this particular time, and not get overwhelmed or fearful in regards to like things going on in your life, because things are going to go on in your life. You're going to have ups and downs. If you are coasting and things are just, in that comfort space, believe it or not, you're not growing. So there has to be bumps in the road, no matter what your age is. We are all here to expand and vibrate at a much higher frequency. And that means we're going to have periods of time where things are not all roses and chocolate. It could be rotten chocolate and dead roses. But that's just what it is. And it's part of our journeys to what we're here to do. But knowing your numerology and your astrology helps you move along with a little more ease. And again, I know for myself, astrology for me, I've been studying for the last 10 years, and I will be the first to say that I do not know everything, which is why I turn to Kitty most of the time to say, hey, Kitty.
And I don't know everything.
And I have another mentor that I work with as well, and he too tells me you need multiple lifetimes to learn everything about astrology. Something else I want to bring to the table regarding astrology, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Kitty, regarding medical astrology, with Mars being in Gemini. I want you to pay attention, because with Mars in Gemini, this is a very strong and high energy for fevers, meaning our body's developing a temperature. So be mindful that if you do come down with a fever, and if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that when we go into the retrograde period, there might be a virus that shows up that will create high fevers. So if that should happen, I just want to give you a little tool that you can use, which is peppermint oil. I recommend a high quality one. The one I use is the Torah. You place that peppermint oil on the bottom of your feet and the back of your neck to bring your body temperature down, which then brings the fever down as well. And for you ladies out there that suffer with menopause or perimenopause, that's also a really great oil to use as well to bring your body temperature down. So note that. So if in case that shows up for you, not to get alarmed that you have a temperature, it's part of the energy of Mars Gemini, and it's also your body's way of letting you know that things are getting a little overheated within your system. Mm-hmm. So to rest as well, hydrate as well. So be mindful of that. So Kitty, what do you have for us?
Well, it's interesting. I'm looking at your list that I just went through, and I'm thinking of how they relate to the astrological houses. And, I've had this conversation before. They're very much a piece of that. especially the one that jumps out at me is the 7th house, spiritual journey. Well, that's the house of relationship. And we are here to co-create in our relationships with our spiritual journey. So it's this week, I think you're going to find that there's a lot of, it's not high ups and downs, but it's going to definitely have some hills this week, especially as we look at this next couple days getting ready for Uranus is now slowing down, getting ready to switch. So it'll feel a little chaotic. Like the expression I like is half a bubble off plum. If you know anything about keeping something level, it's going to feel half a bubble off plum. Kind of is the energy of the day as this great planet groans to a stop and Earth starts spinning past it a little bit quicker. But then we have this, even though our communication has been very exalted, we now turn around to look at that balance. And of course, we have a new moon in Virgo at the end of the week. So that's already a powerful new moon, harvest moon in Virgo. And so we really are looking at things that are starting, because opposite of, and things that are, this Virgo energy is with Pisces, is about the flow. What little pieces am I wanting to set my manifestations around to keep that flow going so that I go back and forth between that? So
exactly. I'm going to just give a shout out to some who are watching with us. And then if you're open to it, we can do a pull a few cards. Okay, so just shouting out to Joe Mockman, who's here with us. He was my guest on my show yesterday. So if you did not catch my show, feel free to go and do. You can find it on Joanne's Healing Within. Just go to the search bar or whatever. Find it. It's there. And then there's Sue.
I posted it in IOTS, so.
Thank you. And then Robin is here with us as well. So thank you so much for spending your energy here with us this morning.
Yesterday was Robin's birthday.
Yes, happy belated. I saw that.
I see Sean Williams too.
Oh, okay. Yes, I don't see Sean Williams on my end. So yes. So welcome.
Hit comments on your StreamYard and it comes up on the YouTube. If you go off your private chat, hit comments, you'll see it.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'll learn to do that too. That means I have to be really coordinated.
Hi, Sean.
So some days I work really well at multitasking, and then other days I get a little fumbled about it. So I'm going to just blame it on all the retrogrades right now.
And with new ones coming, so it is. What I feel today is this real joy, this real understanding that I have an opportunity to let go of a lot of little things that catch me along the way. I'm sweeping them up. It's like I've been looking at them on the floor and I just am getting the broom. That's what we're doing.
After all, when we think about it, we're literally going to be moving into the 9th month. And it's like, wow, the 9th month, we're almost out of August already and moving into the 9th month, which means before we know it, we will be out of 2022 and moving into 2023. So it's like, and that energy, oh Lord, I can only imagine.
That's a plane taking off. So what we're doing is we're taxiing to the runway right now. We have boarded, folks. We are on the plane. We haven't pulled quite away from the gate yet, but 9 is going to be some of the starting to taxi. And that plane is taking off this coming year. The 7, the spiritual journey, a relationship with spirit, all of those things that are coming forward. We have one of the reasons why October has such a big circle around it is we have eclipses in October. You're going to see that plane is now waiting for the clearance at that point by the end of October to take it off.
You see the guys on the runway.
Yeah. You heard the luggage component. You've decided what luggage you're taking with you. You've heard the door shut. And we'll be pulling away from the doorway right then and taxiing out.
Slowly moving.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all going to be going on as we hit 2023, because the energy of that is the 7. And like I said in the numerology listing, spiritual journey. We will all be on a spiritual journey, whether we are conscious of it or not. So those of you out there who might be just tuning into this and like tapping into this for the very first time and trying to figure out like who these two women are talking about whatever they're talking about, well, you may start to understand this a lot more. Like I was listening to last night was the, what do you call your show? The Vibe of the Week. Yes.
Vibe of the Week, yes.
I was listening to that last night, and one of the other co-hosts that Kitty works with, which is Amy had mentioned that her husband had mentioned something about auras, that she needs to sort of go into her own space because her aura was a little off. And Amy was so surprised that her husband spoke in that language. And when I heard that, I was like, that's so amazing because that's not something he does. And we're going to start to see that with a lot more people as we do move into this spiritual journey in 2023. A lot more people are going to start to talk Kitty and my language, which is going to be really exciting because there's going to be a lot more folks in this with us.
And with this conjunction that happened right at the end of July beginning, this is quantum leaps. We're already looking at what we've outgrown and what is coming in for that future collective. So that's very much in line. Her message that she got in her meditation was, the world knows.
Yes.
And she goes, as she said, the world knows what? That's what's coming, what the world knows. So
exactly. Now, Kitty and I are going to pull some cards, and based on what she just said about Amy's word being the world knows, and she goes, the world knows what, leads right into the very first card is about patience. Patience. We do need, and this has been a word that comes up a lot for many of us, we do need to act on patience, because as we have these big conversations, as we get ready to move out of 2022 and move into 2023, things are not just gonna like fall into place right away. You gotta have patience. You're definitely gonna have to practice being in that imagination and acting things out so things can smoothly fall into its place. So patience is really important. Then we talk about that 4 energy, which is about your foundation, which is what we were speaking about, and the energy of today based on that 22. The 4, because it's not a 22, I don't like to say it like this, but this is how I'm hearing it to say it so most people can understand it. The 4 has a lower vibration than that 22 master number. They have the same meaning though, because it's about a new foundation. So you have to be patient when building your new foundation. You're not going to build it overnight. And thank God, because you imagine if buildings were literally built overnight, how sturdy would these buildings be? They'd probably fall apart in a minute. So building your foundation and going slowly with it gives you time to really discover what's going to work, and gives you time to say, okay, well, this doesn't really work for me. So I thought it looked good in my head, but now I actually see it, maybe not the right step here. So it gives you an opportunity to sort of retract a little bit. Mm-hmm. When we think about the heart chakra, this is really about, and this was Joe's word for my show last night, kindness. It gives you an opportunity to be kind to yourself as you are going through what you're going through, but then extend that kindness out to others, because remembering that you are not the only one going through all these changes. Everybody, collectively, we are all going through some change or another. So please be kind to the next person. And if you're kind and they're kind and this one's kind, guess what? We have a whole kind world going on. So love that first card. And in astrology, it's associated with our Cancer, which is all about our home, our families, and the connection we have with our feminine energy. So be open to receiving kindness around the world and giving it out as well.
Because that's what you want. That's what you want to send ahead. That 4, that stability, that patience, that understanding. Sean says that was one of the cards, Joanne, you pulled for the Sagittarians in the weekly reading, which makes perfect sense to me, because that's where our veil is the thinnest. That's where we're here for truth and being patient as those truths are revealed. Well, it's really interesting because Sean was also saying that her husband, like Amy's husband, has been too. So while I was shuffling the cards, I'm like, so tell me what the world knows. And so there's 4 answers there. The first one was Hex. Be still and allow your enemies to reveal themselves. Ooh. So to see what again, this is that Virgo time, to see what those enemies are for your peace of mind, your stability, what patiently wait, it will be revealed, because you're being asked to detox. Which is a 3, to cleanse and restore yourself. So you need to know what you are stepping away from. And because you want to live in perfect balance. This is the card of everything is in balance. It's an 8. It's the infinity. That's what we're taking a look for. And it's resilience that gets you. You're burning away that past. Again, just we've been talking about sweeping up the pieces. What are the enemies that are in my way? What are the things that are stopping me from being able to restore who I am, my crystalline self, and how I live in this balance? So it's all around that number, patience and stability, and taking a look at it, which is, by the way, all that Taurus energy. What do we value? And there are people that don't value. They like the chaos. It makes them feel alive. I remember having been in Al-Anon for many years, that when someone once said, Serenity's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know how to tune into it and enjoy that. We're looking for the next. And I know that that's a lifelong lesson for me. I don't need to look for the next thing to move. Sometimes staying in the moment is. And so these are the things the world knows. The world knows to detox, look for the balance, figure out the enemies, the things that are in our way, hex, put them off, and that it's our resilience. It's how we get rid of our past and what we want to send. That big O in October opening up. So
I love that. Just want to give a shout out to some more people who are popping in, at least from what I can see. We have Sue here. So hello, Sue. Anybody else who popped in? I think that's the only one who popped in. The card that I pulled, I think, goes really well with everything that Kitty just shared. Manifestation. So this is an opportunity for you to manifest. What is it that you want to create into reality? What do you want to bring in? And if you can focus in on the kindness, if you can focus in on just the joy of life, that's what you want to manifest. So remember, again, you are the creator. So the things that you are focused on are the things that's going to show up in your reality. So my suggestion would be stay focused on the things you really want in your reality. Manifest it. The number 1 and 9 works to 10. Now, when we speak about 10, and this is so interesting because I'm actually working on a huge project. And every time I come to the 10 number, I'm like, okay, so when we add this up, the 10, because in numerology, every number gets taken down to a single digit other than your master numbers. 10 is not a master number. So in theory, 10 when added up is actually a 1. But before we go there, let's talk about the 10. That 10 is associated with the Capricorn retrograde in Pluto, which is helping us to, the word I like to use, because why not be intense here, is helping us to destroy what we no longer need, what we've outgrown, what we've gotten from everything that we needed. It's time to now let it go. So allow the dust to sort of settle. And then once it has settled, as Kitty's been saying this whole time, get your broom and get your dustpan and pick up the dust and let it go. So you can allow yourself that space to start to build on something new. Now that 1 energy is associated with Aries, which is about self and also new beginnings, which brings us back to that manifestation. And this is about your crown. This is about your higher consciousness, your higher purpose to why you're here. And I know for myself, being in a comfortable space, being in a familiar, like for example, I'm in my space for 21 years. So for me, this is what I know. And it's like, why would I want to give this up? It's comfortable, but comfortability sometimes is overrated. And it doesn't help us, as I said, grow into the next place we're supposed to go. So sometimes we have to be willing to let it go so we can have something new come in. And it could very well look very differently once we let it go. So my big question to you all is, what are you looking to manifest during these retrogrades leading into the new year?
Right, because this isn't about changing from an angry view, all of these things that may be in your way. This is about, that doesn't serve me anymore. Thanking it for how it developed to serve you, and on you move, because the 10th house is the house of career and awareness, but it reduces down to 1, which is the house of how I'm seen. So it's a play back and forth between those 2 houses. And 1 is fire, sparking of something new, and the other one is your structures. So what are you sparking new in your structures to choose the life you want?
Exactly. And Robin says, very nicely that is, she puts, the most growth happens out of comfort zone. And that is so true. You're not going to grow where you're familiar. Step out of where you are familiar and see how much you do grow. Because I like to say that when it's like driving, if you constantly drive down the same path, you can sort of do it on autopilot with your eyes closed. Not recommended, but you can. Now, if you start driving down a different road, now you have to keep your eyes open and pay attention, because you have no idea where you're going. So when you're in that energy, new things show up for you, and then that's where your creativity starts to flow, because you're out of your comfort zone, and that's where you start to see changes.
And it's an opportunity in your relationship with yourself when you're out of your comfort zone, because fear steps forward in becoming comfortable with fear and taking care of yourself, cleanse and restore, because you will need to do that as you step out of your comfort zone. And it's like developing a new friendship with yourself.
Yes. Kitty, you have another card for us?
I have not pulled another card because I had 4. So let me think. So what would we want to know? What would you like, Spirit, for us to know?
Yeah.
We're going to move those out of the way. I am using the Magic, Magick Oracle. Unlock your hidden truth. So what would you like us to know today, Spirit, to deal with this 22 and beyond? This came right out. Liberation. Card number 13, free yourself. And what does that add to?
4. Hello.
4, free yourself.
Excellent. I'm going to pull one more in addition to what Kitty just asked. Just adding to. Did you just use the word free yourself, Kitty?
Yes, I did.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom, yep. In order to have freedom, that 1 and 4 is 5. What do you need to change so you can have your freedom? And really get clear with what freedom looks like for you. Get clear on that. This is an opportunity for you to sit and reflect and ask yourself, where in my life would I like more freedom? And what does freedom mean? Not politically speaking, and yes, we can go there too, but in general, what does freedom mean for you? When we think about the root chakra, it really is about allowing yourself to get grounded so you can stable your mind, body, and spirit, so you can focus in on what it is that where you want freedom in your life. Do you want to have more time to spend with family and to play? Do you want to really spend more time with clients? Do you want to spend more time traveling? Where do you want your freedom? Do you want financial freedom? Mm-hmm. What does that look like? What does that look like? I was having a conversation with a client, and we were talking about financial freedom. We were also talking about the fact that she only wants to work X amount of hours a week. And this also goes very well with what Kitty was saying about become comfortable with your fears. So for her, it was like, okay, well, I want to be able to make X amount of money, but I only want to work X amount of hours. So it's like, well, then theoretically is you want to step out of that fear of thinking that you're not worthy of having more money. So you have to increase your value in reference to the services that you offer so it can match the financial freedom you're looking to have, and also match the amount of time you're looking to work. So if you're only looking to work a part-time gig, so to speak, but making a full-time salary, you have to be ready to step into that space of feeling valuable and worthy enough of charging more so you can have that freedom, because it is possible. As humans, what we do is we set ourselves up for restrictions and limitations. We feel like, well, if I want to work a short amount of hours, I'm not going to possibly be able to make the money I need to make. So we restrict ourselves, and you can. You just have to put the energy out there. You got to ground yourself and focus on what that is. So what are you willing to change so you can have your freedom?
And 5 is change. It's also about creative and fun. And it's the house of self. It's the house that Leo is in. It's all about the self and our engine and what makes us roar. What do you need to free yourself from to arrive at that, having patience? Where do I want to be? And I think it's also it's Virgo energy right now. So it's in all the little things that I can kind of sweep by that affect the bigger picture. Some new puzzle pieces. So
that is so true. So Kitty, as usual, I had a lot of fun. Did you?
Oh, I had a great time. Yes. And it's a big day. I personally have a big appointment today at noon that's life-changing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad you're on here, Joe. You know, there are all kinds of things unveiling for all of us right now, and it's a lot of fun. And sometimes we are going to need to just rest and restore, put our old souls out there. So.
Yeah. And interesting enough, my big conversation takes place at 1 p.m. today. So quite interesting on our conversations.
So we'll have to call each other tonight and compare our conversations today.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we'll all be celebrating. If you hear the confetti and the fireworks out there, guys, that's just because Kitty and I had our conversations. And I'm sure there's a lot more of you out there who are having conversations too. So I'm sure Kitty and I will be back to play some more because there's always energy.
I'm thinking probably Saturday for the new moon.
Great. Let's if we do Saturday, it would probably have to be later in the night. Later in the night. Like 9 p.m.
Well, the new moon doesn't start till 4. Well, it starts at 4:17 a.m. So we could do it Friday night. It's kind of up to you, whatever you think. We'll talk.
Yeah, let's figure it out and see. We'll let all of you know when it's going to take place. It's either going to be Friday night or Saturday night, either way. But yes, so Kitty, as usual, it was fun. Let everybody know how they can reach you should they need you.
You may reach me at intuitionofthesoul11@gmail.com or on the private Facebook page, Intuition of the Soul. It's a free private Facebook page for, and if you're interested in learning about your chart and you want to study, come join us at Optimize with the Moon and Stars. It is a monthly class and you will not regret. We only ask for a 6-month commitment so you have enough time to learn about your chart, but that's meeting twice a month, once on the general class, and there's 3 choices for a breakout. So hopefully you can make one of those. So come join us there at Optimize with the Moon, optimize your energy with the Moon and Stars. So
excellent. And those of you who want to reach out to me, you could do so just on Facebook, or if you want to send me something more personal, you can email feelingwithin76@gmail.com. And for those of you who are interested in wanting to work with me in regards to all the different things that I do, I've put together a 3-day free workshop that actually starts tonight. It's not too late to sign up though. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's my 3-day body and soul transformation workshop where you'll get to dive into all of the tools that I bring together to help my clients reshape, transform, and fall in love with themselves. So
yay.
If you're interested in, reach out.
Yes, it's a busy week for me. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I can be in 3 places at once on Wednesday. So
okay, well, you let me know how that works because I've been trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might make 2 out of the 3, but one of them's in person, but I volunteered for this after I had these other dates. So I might have to miss just this one. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So anyway, guys, it's been real. We love you and we look forward to connecting with you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye now.
Choo, 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 choo. They should have ending music.
Do, do, do. Yep.